All right.
ARB 0.
Nice.
16 or 70 liter or 70 quart. 69 liter, 70 quart. Yeah, thing's huge.
Yeah. Compensating for something there, buddy.
Yep,
All right,
absolutely.
perfect. I love it. You guys about ready? We can hit that button.
We're gonna hit that button.
Hit it, dude.
Can I
we
hit
hit
the button this time?
Yeah, hit that button.
Did you disinfect first?
Oh.
I get this all figured out for this guy. I love building other people's Jeeps.
I like spending other people's money.
Yeah.
Speaking of which, hello, everybody. We're the Jeep Life Podcast, and we're coming at you from the Jeep Life Podcast studio. We live that Jeep life, and we want to share it with you and have you share yours with us. And we love it. We got people watching live, and of course, always I'm joined by two coolest people I know.
I just like spending money.
He likes spending money. He likes spending other people's money.
Yeah.
And I hate spending money, and it always
But somebody is always spending your money.
somebody is.
That is true.
/Scott/Eric.
Yeah.
Don, how you doing today?
I'm doing good.
Man, it was a close miss. I mean, you almost didn't make it tonight, right?
No, I wasn't because my kids' school switched over to virtual last minute.
Ooh.
For tomorrow.
Just
though.
for tomorrow.
Just
Yeah.
tomorrow.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
So it's not that big of a deal.
No, but I wanted to get them ready because I won't be home, and Amy's got Zoom meetings.
Oh,
and,
yeah.
You know, but
Yeah.
I don't know. I think they're okay.
They should be fine. Just put them out in the front yard. They'll be fine.
I might take them to work with me. I don't know.
So there's a lot of people trying to jump on this trip that we might be planning. I just got like 3 text messages.
Yeah.
Well, I like it. Let's take as many as we can.
That's a lot of. There's a lot to do.
There's a lot of logistics with that. We need a logistics planner. Because we're not.
We need it sponsored.
And that voice is Bill. Bill, how you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Kind of tired. There was a lot of skiing today. I was on the slopes at 6:30 this morning,
Yeah.
setting a course. It was a lot of fun. Awesome pictures. But yeah.
That's awesome.
So,
Did you do anything cool jeeping this week?
worked
Work
on the
worked
buggy
on the
a
buggy?
little bit.
Yeah.
Yeah, here and there. But
Yeah.
besides that,
Cool.
I did.
Did you?
Yeah.
Did you put those Yukons in?
No, I didn't quite get them in yet. I really didn't have enough time to do that, but I had another job Wednesday that kept me pretty busy all day.
Oh, yeah, you did,
I
didn't
did,
you?
yeah,
You worked on Scott's
Yeah,
buggy.
I did. I did. Yeah.
And, man.
So I got to tell you now.
Yeah.
I honestly, I'm kind of ashamed to say this, but I never drove a triple rate spring.
Yeah.
And after we were done, we went out on the road. Oh my God.
Yeah.
Well, that is a game changer. Those RKs, like I have nothing to compare it to. I've driven coilovers already.
Yep.
And they were great, but this had a different feel to it.
Yeah. Yeah. That he's got that rig set up nicely. And he couldn't stop raving about your alignment.
Yeah, I'm glad.
He said
we had 6 hours into it though.
Yeah.
It was
he
a lot
said
of
he said that
repairs
your touch on it was just
good. Yeah,
flawless.
I'm glad. But yeah, it was those triple rate springs. I wasn't totally sold on the idea of having
Yeah.
triple rate springs, more so than a progressive rate on an off road vehicle. But after driving it,
Yeah.
it is incredible.
What?
So everybody that's out there, if you have a dual rate or a multi rate like a cloak coil or a rock crawler, or looking at it, I highly suggest it.
Yeah. Well, I've got a set of rock crawlers out in the garage, triple rate.
You had
Waiting to go.
on my rig.
Well, we'll arm wrestle for it. I don't,
Yeah, right. That's not fair. Your arms, like one of your arms is like twice my legs.
yeah, but I'm fat.
Doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Scary. Your hands are big.
I love it. Speaking of Scott, man, I got to go out and hit the trail with Scott on Friday.
lucky.
Yeah, we had originally planned to go on Thursday, but
Yeah, that was an oops. Huh?
yeah, right. So I text up Dave at AOA, hey man, I'm going to see you tomorrow. And he's like, dude, we're closed. And I was like, oh, that's right. This time of the year, they're only open like Friday through Monday.
So how was it Friday?
Oh man, it was great. It was freaking cold.
It looked awesome,
but it was really great.
There was some snow in the trails up there.
There was some snow. On the the parking lot and all that. There was no snow whatsoever. But once we got up to the ridge, there was quite a bit of snow. It wasn't deep snow; it was just snow.
Wasn't deep snow, just snow.
It was just snow.
It's that nuisance snow that sits in front of the rocks.
Yeah.
And you can't get any traction.
Yeah, not once did either one of us really have any trouble. And
nice.
we did some blacks that were new to me. We did 107 and 108, the black portions of those trails, and those were a good time. Some big ass rocks, but nothing. I didn't feel uncomfortable. Maybe once, and that was actually on Fern Ridge, a place I'd already been.
I want to get you on
multiple
162.
times. Yeah, let's go. I'm in.
That one picture you sent me was a pretty big ledge that you were up on.
Yeah,
that looked decent.
I did run the skid plate. No, I ran the rock slide on that one. Climbing up once I got my front tires over it. Yeah. I did run on that a little bit, but most of the time I stayed off the metal. I felt really comfortable with.
Now, was Scott spotting you, or were you kind of on your own?
Sometimes, but most of the time it was both of us kind of on our own, doing a thing, because there was only two of us, and it was cold, and but he did spot me through some of the times that I felt it was a little weird, and I actually on those times I went up and kind of helped him through it. I'm not a very good spotter. But, I can see a line and I can help be a set of eyes, because there were a couple times where the nose was up in the air. And when the nose is up in the air, it's very hard to see anything.
You're working by memory at that point. You kind of got to take that mental picture before you point that nose up. And
that's it, exactly.
A lot of practice, too.
Yeah, yeah.
But it was, it was great to have, a little more seat time. But it's also, I felt like I got the
seat time.
I felt like I got the payoff from all the seat time that we invested last year. Going and
that's really, you can't beat seat time, and you got to get out of your comfort zone a little bit. If you don't, you're never going to grow. Not leaps and bounds. You should never, if you're shaking and ready to vomit, you're pushing yourself too hard. But, some butterflies in the stomach are okay once in a while. Especially when you're with somebody that's a good wheeler.
Right.
Yeah, and Scott's awesome, and
Scott is, and he's got a lot of seat time.
Yeah,
and so I haven't been wheeling it so long. We're gonna have to start me out in green trails
and
spot me through mud puddles.
I think it's real important that when you go out, especially with somebody that has the experience like him or his brother or some of the others, they could easily just plow through things, leave you in the dust, and then if you get stuck or on the rocks or do something, it kind of puts you uncomfortable. It'd be easy for them to laugh at you
but not in the off-roading segment. I just don't see it. People are really decent about that.
Yeah, they may throw you a pink helmet, and but none of it's done, in my opinion, or anything that I've seen, in any kind of negative light.
No, not in the off-roading world. No. It's just, it's different. It's a different mentality, and that's part of what I enjoy about it.
And everyone lends a hand no matter where you are.
Yeah.
So it's even seeing it through the club and everything, we're going out, we wheel a lot.
Yeah.
We lead groups of people that some of them never wheeled before, but we're still willing to, let's go. Let's go show you something. Yep. Let's try this. You know, if you don't like it, you don't like it, but you tried it.
Right. And it's something I felt comfortable kind of leading greens and blues.
Right.
But I'm starting to feel comfortable. I'm definitely not ready to lead any black trails, but I'm certainly.
It requires a lot. I don't even want to lead a black trail.
No.
I'm comfortable
I'll go out
doing
on a black trail with you guys, but besides that,
no.
I
think I would go out and lead a black trail with other people capable of driving black trails.
Right.
I wouldn't want to take somebody that was a green, blue, and try and teach them blacks. I'm just not, especially right now, because I have this Jeep. Since my TJ, I really haven't been on a black trail.
Right.
The JK one time went down Barney Rubble with it.
Yeah, but you do a really good job of you're really calming when you're calling out directions and everything. It might be.
Can't wait to have you as my spotter to go down like Twister or something.
But
like
you
that.
are a good spotter, and I appreciate that.
Thank you. I enjoy it, and I haven't wanted to beat up the new JK because I know how quick the TJ took a beating.
Yeah.
But
it does.
That's what it's sitting in the garage, a shop for this winter, is kind of prepping it to get it out in some trails and do some rock crawling with it.
Yeah.
So,
and
I didn't feel like it was built. It wasn't quite built for it. It wasn't geared right. With the 321s and the manual, you got to be a little bit lower gear. You got to idle over the stuff and the 33s and So I'm looking forward to it this year.
Yeah, next time we go, we're not leaving it in the parking lot.
Nope,
no, it's going out.
It's going out.
Yep,
I like it. So yeah, that was kind of my, and we've kind of talked about this. I'm not a mudder. I don't really like going into mud.
I don't like mud either.
I will, but I'd rather not.
I lost one motor today.
No, right? I can give it 24
and for
hours.
everybody out there, that's a really freaking expensive mistake.
That is. Oh my God!
It's that 3.6 expensive engine.
Yeah, it's not cheap. I don't ever want to do it. I don't.
And then they have these things called core charges that they slap another $1,400 on top of it.
Oh, geez.
Yeah.
Oh no.
But you get it back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you still have to put it out first, and then it's like you get it back, and then sometimes it takes a little while. Yeah.
So I like my Jeep to be muddy for exactly 24 hours.
Yeah.
I want it to be dirty to see.
Let's rephrase this. You like it to have accents for 24
hours. Right.
So if I'm going to do mud, there has to be a reason. Like I'm not going to just go seek out a mud puddle or a swamp.
Yeah.
There has to be a reason. And man, do I like my younger days.
Yeah.
I hit everything at like 120 miles an hour to the floor. And now it's like I'm so cautious. I'm a little more carefree on rocks than I am mud anymore.
So right now the Jeep is very dirty, but it's dirty from like normal driving through and over everything and anything.
Yeah.
Puddle.
Which is like not even puddle, but it's like, a little bit of water on the side of the road. Yeah. Just like
throw it up.
A little bit. And I've been driving to
dirt in the side of the road.
Well, I also been driving like weird hours. So I've been driving in like 4 or 5 o'clock in the morning to go up to the mountain.
Yeah.
And
is the road used when I went up there? Now this is going back 20 years ago.
It's not smooth.
Is it paved?
It's
now?
paved.
Okay.
It's not
used
smooth.
It used to be a dirt road, I think, going into Blue Mountain.
The backside.
Yeah.
Yeah. For a long time, there is still another. There's 2 dirt roads that go over Blue Mountain, but this one got
Yeah. But so I obviously yesterday went and cleaned up my Jeep.
Right.
It looks good, and part of me is I don't want rust underneath it. I want it to still look good when you guys get under it and go, oh, that's a lot of scraping going on, but there's not so much rust.
Right.
And
I got a lot of rust.
I don't want.
They
want
do keep
rust.
your Jeep's clean.
It's pretty clean.
I mean, there's not much of a cross member left, trans mount left in the middle, but
no,
but it's clean. It definitely is.
So I want that to be clean. So that was kind of my Jeep life yesterday as well.
I saw the pictures too on Facebook. Even the floor's cleaned
up. Even the floor, which leads us right to our product review. Yes, which right after that, a little bit later, we're going to talk. Bill and I get to talk with the senior director for Armorlite, Mr. David Ladd. And man, that was an awesome conversation. I know it's the second time we've gotten to talk to him.
I'm sorry I missed it too.
Yeah, we hated you missed it. Yeah.
He's super cool guy, like easy to talk to.
This company is just stellar. I can't get enough. Yeah. I can't wait to, that's on my bucket list is an Armorlite flooring.
Well, they're coming out with a lot of new products.
I'm kind of waiting to see what's coming out. And
a lot of new stuff.
I have WeatherTech's and I like them, but it's not, WeatherTech's a great product, but it is not the same thing as Armorlite.
No.
And for a little bit more money, you can have the Armorlite, which is the whole system. Yeah. I can't wait.
Yeah, it's pretty awesome. So I got a chance to dirty up my brand new Armorlite that I installed last week.
Feels good, doesn't it?
It does, and I'm going to see if I can make this happen. See if I can drop in a picture so you guys can see. I did hit the button.
Did you?
Yeah.
All right.
We're recording.
Okay.
So this is my Armorlite.
It's a little late to mention that one.
Right when I installed it, and it looks real nice and clean and looks good.
It's beautiful.
Such a pretty system too.
It really is.
Oh my God. Terrible. Terrible to get roll it though. Like to get it to roll under things and through the seats. Ugh.
Oh, it was.
And when it's cold out, good luck.
It was even worse. And it was tough.
Yeah.
So as you can see, I did get some snow, and that snow also tracked in a little bit of mud. So as you can see, it wasn't clean. It was pretty dirty. And I kept wondering, because it dried up, and I kept going, man, am I just grounding this mud in? Is it just going to keep?
So I've had like those Mopar. You ever see those Mopar floor? Oh, the ones you had.
Yeah.
They suck. Sorry, they suck. They're great. I mean, they're really great until you go to clean them. Yes.
Yeah, they stain easily.
So this doesn't do that, right? You wipe
this
right off.
Yeah.
No, they're awesome. And mine, like I had those in the JK, the old one, and they wore great. And but they were really tough to get to clean.
Yep.
They could never get them to look clean.
Let me see if I can find the picture of me of the flooring right after I cleaned it. Let's see if I can drop that in. Oh, look at that. It looks exactly the way it did when it came out new. So it was really, I was blown away.
It cleans up very well. So, and I can say that after having it for 6 months, it cleans up. You just take a little bit of soap, water, and a little agitation from the scrubbing brush, and you're good.
This was warm water and a towel.
Yep.
And didn't use any soap, didn't use anything.
And because of the body plugs on it and the way the system's designed, you literally, I mean,
just wash it down.
You could take a bucket of warm water and wash.
Yeah.
You know.
I'm a little hesitant of throwing water in because
he did say you want to be careful. You want it to be more of like a downward direction.
I was going to say, I don't think you just want to splash it in, but I mean, you literally could take, wipe it down and then just take some water and carefully dump it down the body drain.
Yeah, and I actually used a cup of warm water, and as soon as I got everything kind of lined up, I had the drain plug pulled, and I poured it, and I ran the towel over it and squeegeed it down to the drain. So, and it was pretty awesome. The install on it was challenging.
Well, it was cold.
But it was cold. And I was by myself, and then I got like 85% done, and you came over and did the last 10%. Got it.
So, what do you think it took you time-wise to put it in? I think Billy, you said it took like an hour and a half to do yours.
Yeah,
it was less than 2 hours, and that was pulling the carpets. We didn't have to pull the carpets for him; he already had them. The secret that I found, and we didn't do this
just
on
take
yours.
All the plastics
I took
out.
all the trim off.
Right.
So the door trim and everything, I took all that out, and I was like, "Oh, this is so much easier." Had I had my tools with me, I did this in a unheated garage. If I'd had my tools with me, I would have loosened all the seat bolts.
Yeah.
Right.
I wouldn't have taken them all out, but I would have loosened them, and I think that would have allowed me to move things around a little bit more. So I know that, I don't remember if it's in the interview or not, but I know Dave is the instructions.
So he did say that they changed their instructions to better fit the fact that most of us are DIY guys. We have our own set of tools in the garage. We're going to do this in the garage. So we don't have a problem with taking some plastics off and loosening some bolts to get this in a little bit quicker, a little bit easier. So he said even they'll recommend take the seats out. It's easy.
Yeah.
No big deal.
Yeah, well, that's what I was thinking. I mean, the Jeep seats come out so easy.
Yeah. It's 4 bolts and a plug.
Yeah. And the other thing is, making sure that you're able to get the wiring through, it's slit so that the wiring goes into it, and just making sure that lines up. Once that lines up, everything's actually a lot easier. It's unbelievable how much that wiring gets in the way.
Yeah,
if you're not careful.
And to take out the plastics, center console's so easy too.
Yeah, I did that. Two hex bolts in the
Yeah.
back. I did that and lifted it up, and I was able to slide the back.
They're T35.
T35 done.
So I the other thing I think I remember you guys talking about, it does have insulation underneath,
Yes.
right? Which is really nice because it's going to keep the heat down, the sound down.
Yeah.
Did you notice anything with the sound? Did it?
It is quieter.
Is it?
It is quieter.
You don't have to run the radio as loud either.
No, not at all. And so I took a trip today. I drove an hour and a half each direction, and the only noise I heard was through the soft top.
Yeah.
Now, before I would hear tire noise through the wheel wells, through the floor, and now the only thing I hear is the noise through the top,
which is really nice because
Yep.
I mean, if you're on a long trip, like I know the Jeep that we did the overlanding with, I actually dynamited the floor under the carpet because I couldn't take the road noise, and I think this kind of already does that, cuts out a lot of that.
It does. It has three layers. It's got the hardened top layer that everybody fixed to, and even with the snow and the water and the mud, it wasn't slippery at all. My feet didn't move.
Good finish on it.
Oh, great finish.
And
it feels good.
He said that there isn't that the insulation on it's like some kind of micro. What do they call that? So it doesn't like get moldy, and if it does get wet.
Well, the
lower
bigger
layer.
one is some kind of polyester.
Okay.
Which
doesn't hold moisture.
Yeah,
it won't get
wicks it all out.
Yeah. I'm blanking too.
Yeah. So it's
some fancy name for it, and from an engineering standpoint, I cannot think of it right now.
No, I wish I had their website
up. Well thought out. There's nothing that's afterthought on this. There's a well thought out and planned system.
Yeah.
3 years of development.
Yeah.
So like,
they've been out less than a year now.
Right.
Yeah.
With the product available to consumers.
But they started developing it.
Yep.
A long time ago.
Yep.
They, asked us what we wanted, and
so I don't have one yet. I am gonna probably. I think I'm gonna purchase one down the road, probably this coming year. But Billy, you have one. So if anybody sees you out in the trail, they should probably pull you over and take a look at it. And you have one.
Well, don't pull me over. Just ask to see it.
Just well, not the buggy. The buggy.
Well, the buggy might have some eventually.
Eventually,
pretty cool.
They said they're coming out with TJ style.
Does that have a TJ floor in it?
It does.
Yeah, it does.
Still got the same main tub. Yeah.
TJ tub. So.
Now, to make that a real rock crawler, we cut that floor out and we put in that grating so we can see you as a rock crawling.
Now we got to put in plywood, right?
Stop.
Isn't that the key, like a 3/4 inch plywood?
Right. Stop sign.
Might be getting a dual air compressor.
Nice.
Ooh.
Thinking about.
But anyway, squirrel.
Squirrel.
So I mean, the Armorlite is. I'm envious of you guys. I think that stuff is just. I don't think there's a better system. Not. Let me say this again. I've been doing Jeeps for 20 years. I know there's not a better system out there.
Yeah, and it's not a spray in.
No, which has its drawbacks.
Yeah.
I mean,
I have put out photos on our Instagram page of Rhino liner after. Well, it's bed liner after. I think it was 3 years.
Yeah.
It just it gets a nick in it. Moisture gets in there, just rusts.
It does,
and you don't know it.
And they don't clean well either.
Right.
I mean, it will if you can pressure wash it, but you really can't. You really can't pressure wash the inside of a normal Jeep. Like you're not going to have a JKU.
I can't
Sahara.
pressure wash the inside of the buggy.
No.
Still has cloth seats,
right? And all the cabling that is ran underneath the trim. You don't want to do that. No. And the prep work. I mean, literally, including prep, I was under 2 hours total. So you can't do that with any kind of liner.
No, you can't. I mean, so when we spray a liner at the school, similar to Rhino, but the prep work for it is through the roof. To spray it is a lousy mess.
Right.
And like I said, it doesn't clean up well. It's great for a bed of a truck.
Absolutely.
But that's a different environment than a Jeep. So
I don't want to look at it or put my feet on that, every day.
No, right. And there's no insulating factor to it. There's no,
Yeah.
So there's nothing. I'd say the next best competitor is WeatherTech, and WeatherTech's a great product. But the problem is, like even my WeatherTech in my Jeep, it doesn't go all the way around the Jeep, so I still slop stuff down the sides, and that's an issue. Like if you pull my carpets out now, just from driving it in the snow and stuff when I go snow wheeling, there's salt and stuff down the sides, and the carpet gets ruined anyway. You know, so. And it certainly doesn't have the insulating factor the Armorlite does. And
no, and the reason
I would say it keeps my Jeep probably 5 degrees warmer in the winter.
Yeah.
Anyway.
Yeah.
And probably the equivalent cooler in the summer.
Right. Yep.
Right.
Yeah, because
you don't get as much engine heat and all that stuff too.
Yeah. Good stuff.
Sean, I did not put a coat of wax or anything on the bare floor before installing it. I literally just cleaned it. Took water and everything.
Well, it wasn't worn either. Like
it was a new floor that. So it didn't really need it. Is that something I could do in the future? Sure, I could pull it out easily.
Yeah,
and do it. I don't know that
I ran without carpets for probably 2 years.
Yeah.
So I needed to put something down, or I just cleaned it really well and then put it all in. But yeah. It wasn't like it was rusting to start with.
No, and my floor looked brand new. I mean, it looked. I pulled the carpets back enough to pull the drain plugs when it's gotten wet, and that's been it. Yeah. Ooh, I like my Armorlite. It's good stuff.
It's awesome,
and they're a great company. I can't say anything negative at all. So come check ours out if you want to look at it. I know that. People have done that already and purchased their own, so it's pretty cool.
Yeah, we'll be around at shows, in the spring as the stuff opens up and up at OAA.
And I know they're coming this way, and they're also going to start selling. I don't want to give away all of our interview.
Let's get into it.
Yeah. Well, we do have a question, and this question was sent to us by Christopher T. Therm 1986. Do you have this? You have this, right?
Yes, the question?
Yeah. Go for it.
You want me to read it?
Yeah, read it, and then I think the two of you really are going to be the answers.
All right. So, hey, guys, not sure how well you are with XJs, but I'm trying to restore an 89 Laredo, and it's from a single owner. Perfect to start from, but I don't want to go crazy since my surrounding area is in Colorado. I'm probably fine with a 2 to 3 inch lift to get anywhere. I'm considering an upcountry rear with a 1-inch shackle, maybe a 2-inch coil spacer. I think a 2.5 to 3 inch in the rear and 2 to 2.5 in the front, 30-inch tall tires. You guys know, would this sound relatively realistic? My suspension is kind of going, so I'd like to use upcountry leafs as my base. So, and I apologize about me reading this. I need new glasses. I'm like squinting to see.
I know, right?
So, can I start off?
Yeah, go ahead.
I always do it. I kind of look at this and I want to say go opposite. No, we're right. Never mind.
So,
I read it backwards.
First of all, when he's talking about upcountry, there was an upcountry package on the XJs that gave it like a 1-inch lift. It was like a factory option. The Laredo, if it has the wheels I'm thinking of, which was like I don't know how to describe it, and I don't know what they would call it, but it was like a multi-spoke sort of wheel, kind of an older style looking wheel with the plastic
gold and like silver-ish.
Nah, I don't think that's it. They were.
I don't know.
Anyway, I'm pretty sure most of the Laredos at that time. My dad had one of these, bought one of these brand new. And it had those wheels on it. So first of all, starting with the wheels, I think they had the right offset for like a 31-inch tall tire. As far as the lift goes, I would do an Old Man Emu system. So Old Man Emu makes a system for the XJ, and I love Emu stuffs for a good basic suspension.
They make awesome parts.
They do. They really do. It's actually Old Man Emu is owned by ARB, and they're a great company. Their shocks are great. But they make a kit that is for 31-inch tall tires. Looks like it is 1.5 for the front and 3 for the rear. I believe, and that sounds like it's going to give you a little bit of rake still. And I'm a big proponent of keeping rake in Jeeps because that's important for, when you're going to, and we do. I mean, we throw a ton of gear in the back of them and stuff like that. That's what I would do. Emus ride nice. They flex great. They wear great, and it's not a super expensive lift. And we're talking $850 on Quadratec's website. If you don't have the right offset wheels, if you've got to change them, I would go with and Quadratec has them too, but the remakes of the Moabs from the first generation Rubicon.
Oh, okay.
That would have the right bolt pattern.
Right.
And I would change it to a 31 on a 17-inch wheel.
Right.
Just because tires are a little bit cheaper.
I would agree with all that.
That's what I got. And I think it's great. I think that'd be a great build. I would love to actually for him to keep it in the old style Laredo wheels, and I can't remember what they call them, but it's sort of like a fan sort of.
I know what you're talking
about.
Yeah,
they were the right offset wheels that work with the 31. It would look really cool. Maybe an all-terrain tire, or even where you're at in Colorado, you might even want to go to a mud terrain.
Yeah.
A good quality tire like a BFG or a Nitto. Actually, up there you'd probably be a little better with a BFG. They're a little bit better in mud and stuff like that. And that Emu kit isn't going to make it look super jacked. It's going to be the right height. It's going to ride nice. You don't have to make any modifications to steering or driveline angles.
Yeah.
Yes, and yes.
It's not gonna. I like the way you're thinking. It still maintains that Laredo look.
Because he said restoring. So you don't want to get crazy with it.
It'll have that. They'll have that little badass stance to it that you wouldn't get necessarily from factory.
Well, he's looking for that upcountry look. This would be very similar to it.
Yeah, but it'll have a nice look to it. So I like that. Yeah. I think that's a real good solution.
Send us a pic when it's done.
Yeah, absolutely.
Definitely. I want to see it.
Yeah, I hope that answers that question. Now, we would also do normally reviews during this time, but nobody reviewed us, and that upsets me. It breaks my heart.
I want some reviews to read.
Give me some reviews. So
might not read them right on air, but I still want to read them.
Yeah. So without any further ado, we're going to introduce Dave Ladd. He's the senior director for Armorlite, and Bill and I were able to do this interview, and so we pre-recorded it, and you're going to get to see it live. I am going to ask that if anybody can hear us, text us, because I'm going to try to mute us so that if we're coughing or anything, you won't hear us in the background. So just hit us up, let us know if you can hear us.
I don't think. Well, you should be able to hear it, right?
Yeah, but I don't want the mics to be live, so I'm gonna try to mute those.
We can just turn our mics off.
Can we? All right. Anyway, here we go. Here's the interview. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the Jeep Life Podcast. We're doing an amazing interview with our friend Dave Ladd. He's the senior director at Armorlite. We're privileged enough to have him on for the second time, and we get to talk to him about Armorlite and all the cool things that are going on now. I mean, the first time
I love my Armorlite.
I know, right? It's an amazing product, and watching you and helping you install it, I came to love it, and I'm like, yeah, that's why doesn't every Jeep have that already built into it?
I can't say enough good things about it, from just getting into the Jeep, and first, like, you open the door and it's kind of one of the first things you see. Then your eye is drawn to that little floor plug that's a little bit awesome product. I love how well it's holding up, and I've had it in for probably about 6-ish months now.
Yeah.
And soap and water. That's it.
Yeah.
It cleans up back to the day I got it.
Yeah, it's amazing. David, welcome, and tell our listeners a little bit about yourself.
Thank you. It's good to be back with you guys again, and I can't wait to catch you up on the last 6 months since we spoke. I'm heading up this group, this aftermarket group in Detroit, and our featured product is Armorlite, as you mentioned, and we spent almost 2 years in the field back in 2018-19, really just talking to wheelers, Jeepers and wheelers on the trails across America and the various Jeep Jamboree guides, because we partnered with Jeep Jamboree for that time. to really understand what are some of the things that if you could do differently, you'd want to do. The first answer across the board was, we don't want carpet in a Jeep.
Yep.
Now for mall crawling and daily commuting, that's a whole different story. But when we take it off road, the carpet's the last thing that you want to have to contend with after you've been on the trail all day. So we took that input and a lot more input from them about thermal insulation, because it gets so hot when you're crawling. Water management and drainage, durability, scratch and mar resistant, cleanability was a big one that you were just talking about, especially when we get into these winter months, but not to mention some of the trails across this country, right? In the Southeast, You've got that red Georgia clay, and that stuff can get into every little nick and groove. Out in Moab, you have that real fine particle dust, and it gets everywhere. So having a floor that you can basically clean out with dish soap and a brush and just rinse it down is really the ideal solution. But all of that came from the folks out on the trails, and it made us kind of rethink this is what it should be. Let's engineer this thing the way people have told us. And believe it or not, it's a much different engineering standard than what we're used to on the OEM side, the automaker side, because that's our big bread and butter business. We supply all the interior components and flooring and acoustical components for all the major automakers in the world, including Jeep. So this was a big departure from what we've been doing for years and years and years, which is a normal carpeted, product that has an underlayment made of a cotton shoddy, and that doesn't do good with water. So we did quite a departure from the norm to create this product.
Yeah, but your experience and background and all that answers a lot of questions that maybe someone that is, like myself or Bill, we love to go out on the trail, and we see things that we would love to do, but some of that stuff can't become a reality. But because of your background and the company's background, you have access to meld the two together and put that real world experience with that quality engineering, right?
We have, and along the way, we've run into other companies like Bestop, like Rancho, these names too.
Mm-hmm.
And these are also companies that learned that lesson. We're a younger company, but they learned that same lesson decades ago, which is if you really want to make it right, you got to go out there on the trails with the folks that are really putting their vehicles to the test.
Yeah.
I mean, that you guys know, people that are listening in know that when you have done trails like the Rubicon, like Moab, Texas Spur, the Cumberlands, the list goes on and on, you're putting your vehicle to an extreme test that you can never replicate in any of our laboratories in Detroit or on a highway, where most of the car companies do their testing, right, on tracks.
Yeah.
So it really was eye-opening for us to be able to recognize the opportunity that was there to really build something that was made for the trail. And we kind of pride ourselves in Armorlite being not just a floor mat, because it's not that. It replaces your floor with a floor that's just superior and made for the trail.
You put in a product that it's breathable, it dries, and it's also very resistant to mildew, mold, all of those things that it changes the whole drive of the vehicle. And then once you start adding those different aspects in, you get more out of it, of the noise reduction, heat reduction. So it's just absolutely awesome, the product, and we continue. Just can't say enough about it.
So the last time we were together, you guys had the 2-door and the 4-door JK version, and
half a 2-door version.
Yeah.
So you guys were able to actually release the rear set of the JK 2-door.
Yep.
So now you have the full complete JK 2-door and 4-door. But you guys are working on some more stuff.
They've been even busier. You just released new products, right?
Correct. We're on quite a roll. Our goal has always been to offer the full Wrangler lineup. So from the TJs to the JKs, the JLs, the JTs, the Gladiator that's coming out. So this week, in fact, we are shipping our first JL 4-door floors. So the JL is ready and it's shipping this week.
Perfect.
Right on the heels of that, we're finishing up our JT Gladiator tool. So in a matter of by next week, we'll be running first hits, which is just a trial out and make sure they're fitting correctly, make the final tweaks and adjustments to all the equipment that we manufacture with. And then in a matter of a few weeks, we'll be sending out Gladiator floors. And then we've got the JL 2-door right behind the Gladiator. And then we're still gonna do a TJ. We have a lot of demand for the TJ, and we can't turn a deaf ear to it. We have to provide a TJ.
Yeah, it's so funny because I look at the ads and on Facebook, and it looks like a regular Facebook post with the comments and everything, and you get about 3 comments in, and the first thing is, "Where's this for the TJ? Where's this for a TJ? What I have this year?"
Right? Absolutely.
There are a lot of TJs that are still out there, and we knew as we started this business that it was a declining market because there were fewer registered each year. But that's true on the roads and the daily commuters, but I don't think that's as true on the trails.
Agreed.
Those TJs will be around for a long time. And there's, proof of that.
Bill's second Jeep, his TJ, you don't drive it on the...
It's not a TJ
You don't
anymore,
drive it on the street.
Yeah.
But still has the same pan, so you could...
Absolutely. Still same floor pan, so...
I love it.
That's awesome.
I'm so excited that you guys are going to do those older vehicles because there's a lot of people that, they love those vehicles more so than a lot of, standard people that have a 18-year-old vehicle. Like I have an 18-year-old vehicle sitting up in the parking lot and I don't love that vehicle, but these people love their TJs.
Well, so first I want to say, I work in the engineering field. So I know how much time, effort, and process goes into making these products. So first I want to congratulate you on that, and because it's a lot of work to even, begin to get this next product out. But so moving forward, let's think of, you said we're in the winter time and we're looking at these products and how they hold up to the winter, salt, brine, and everything else. So how does that translate into what you guys take into account for, some of those harsher chemicals? How do you approach maybe a testing of using that, or is it just strictly let's use it and let's abuse it?
Yeah, it's a great question, Bill. So because we are, our DNA is automotive, and we've been an automotive company going all the way back to the Ford Model T, doing the same kinds of products, by the way. We really, we can't break our old habits. And the fact is that even though we're making this product for the aftermarket, it isn't required that we do all the same kind of durability testing like it is on the OEM side of the industry.
Oh, right.
But nevertheless, we continue to apply our Armorlite products to that same standard of testing.
Okay.
So we do the ultraviolet testing to make sure it can stand up to hours and hours and hours of direct sun exposure. We do we freeze it, we bake it, we shake it. We do all the various tests that we do on the automotive side. We make sure that, the VOC is compliant so that it doesn't release VOCs. That's a health issue. Mm-hmm. And again, these things are highly regulated in the auto industry, which is the most regulated and stringent industry, period. And we apply all those same standards to the manufacturer and the design of the Armorlite products because we have that predominantly it's built-in capability that we have anyway. So why wouldn't we do that same testing all the standard? But what we've done with Armorlite has gotten, again, I talked about we parted ways from the traditional ways of doing floors. We looked at it and we said, well, let's make a floor, but let's take and integrate what would be a floor mat or all-weather mat. Let's just integrate that into this floor so now for the first time there's a floor that you would never put mats on this. You would never have to buy mats for this floor because it already has that functionality built into it. So that gives you better stiction or traction in the wintertime, anytime, off camber, when you're trailing, when you're wheeling, you want to make sure when you put plants on that floor that it stays where you put it.
Yeah.
So those are some of the features that we designed into this. But going back to your question about, the different testing, salt testing is right there on that list. And this time of year, you guys know how abrasive salt is. Salt can ruin just about anything, period.
Yep.
We've done months upon months of salt testing with Armorlite, and we're very pleased. I honestly thought that was the one area that, with enough exposure to that we'd begin to see some kind of wear and tear. And I tell you what, it cleans up just like you mentioned. It cleans up with a little a little brushing and some dish soap, and just gently rinse it down the floor through the drain, and it comes back to factory clean. I'm not going to name names, but I've had my own aftermarket flooring products that I've had in my trucks and Jeep, and I can tell you that once they stain, it's really difficult to get those stains out. And then when you call them and say, what do you recommend? They say, well, for $40, I'll send you this bottle of cleaner.
Right.
And then I took them up on it. I did it, and it didn't take the stains out. Yeah. So we're proud to be able to say that, yeah, even salt stains after a rough winter, like up here in Detroit, we use a lot of salt up here.
Yeah.
They wash right out, and we're happy about that. So.
Well, salt is abrasive and corrosive, so
right.
it's like the worst possible combination, because if you leave it on there, your foot is going to drive it in, and then just over time it'll corrode just about everything.
Yeah.
And looking at yours, it looks, when it's cleaned up, the same it did when we took it out of the box. That's so impressive.
Absolutely.
Yep. Good. I'm glad it's working out for you guys. I'm glad you're able to verify what I'm saying, because it means a lot more if you lived it, right?
Yep. So when I took mine and Bill's at the same time, when I took it out and I felt the finish, I was like, I feel like this is going to be slick. And, rubbing my hand on it, I could move my hand on it with very little resistance.
Mm-hmm.
And then earlier you said, with the traction, and literally when my foot hit it, it was like a brake. It just stopped. It didn't do anything. It doesn't move. I was completely dumbfounded when I tried that.
And my Jeep isn't the easiest to get into.
No, not at all. Not at all. You need that kind of stability, especially climbing into your Jeep. That was a clown show the other day when I climbed into his Jeep. And
so I have racing seats in my Jeep. So I have the high bolsters on the side, and for a gentleman that might be a little bit larger than I am.
Yeah. I mean, even though our Jeeps are identical, they're both red. His is a lot higher and taller, and then those seats and everything. I thought it was going to be a struggle to get in, but once I put my foot in, it didn't move. How do you manage that kind of traction with a surface that actually is so cleanable? Because most of the time when you have a surface that is cleanable, it's
like glossy or slippery, or it gets wet.
And vice versa, when you have a surface that
doesn't matter if there's mud on it,
yeah,
or anything, it's always has the same traction.
I want trade secrets here. I want.
Well, I won't give you the whole recipe, but I'll tell you that the top coat on the floor, very, very durable, but it's a marine grade top coat, and much like a boat surface, a deck when you're on the boat deck,
yeah,
it has that kind of what we like to call stiction, where it's able to provide some kind of grip against whatever the sole of your shoe might be. And even when there's fine particle dust on it, like we're talking about places out west, you still get that kind of traction when you're stepping in and out. That lesson we learned on our own the hard way the first couple of years before we had an Armorlite floor, just stepping in and out of Jeeps with whatever the standard floor was, or floor mat. And when you slip a couple times, and when you're off camera getting in or out, you land on certain parts of the anatomy that remind you to get something fixed it. So,
yeah, that's exactly right.
That was a quick lesson.
So while we're on the surface, the product comes in 2 colors, and they're really killer colors, right? And they fit the majority of Jeeps out there. Are there plans to have other colors available,
or as I would say, aftermarket to the aftermarket?
Yeah, right.
Thank you. That's a good question too, because again, a year ago I would have told you we just don't know, because we're just out there. We have to see what the customers tell us. Well, so since we've been out, we've been able to survey our customers about, well, what do you like? Well, resoundingly, everybody likes black, especially in the JKs, because most of those interiors are black.
Right.
But now with the JLs, you've got a lot more earth tones and tans and browns. So we developed the khaki, which is also available for the JKs, and it's not nearly as popular, but it has been an option that people go to. And then I think black will always be popular; it just looks so sharp. But we've got feedback from many of our Jeeping friends out there that indicate that some patterns would work. And I want to show you a couple because, and I think on this video they'll come through pretty well. One of the most popular ones has been a wood grain You tell me if I need to move it up or down, or if you can see it.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
And that's clearly wood grain.
That's cool.
It's a gray wood. Yeah, it's a gray, and they specifically said a gray wood grain again because it picks up on the black or the neutral gray colors of the interior that are already there, as opposed to a brown or something that wants to fake. We're not trying to fake to be like wood or convince you that we're really wood. It's just a wood grain pattern, and it's a really nice pattern that really seemed to test very well. The other one, a lot of folks like the Digi Camo.
That's awesome.
So we've been developing.
Yeah.
And that's our second most popular, and this is after hundreds of surveys at different vending events across the country that we've been to, all Jeep events. And then we've even got this Berber type look that if for those that do want a carpet, see if I can get on that. You still want a kind of a carpet look. It's not at all, and it even has kind of a three-dimensional raised look, but it's the same surface as the Armorlite that you guys have, which is very washable, scrubbable, cleanable, and waterproof. So
nice.
We are going to be introducing some different design or patterns, and I at the end of that I still expect black is always going to be a bestseller, but at least giving people some options is something we've been hearing back from our customers. We've got a lot of feedback from our customers in the first several months. It's been really helpful for us to keep improving and fine tuning the products.
Well, just like every Jeeper I know likes to customize their customization. Yeah,
absolutely.
And all right, I've got this floor that nobody else has. It's already unique in itself, but I want one better. I want it to be unique to me.
Color.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. I love those patterns. I think I don't think I don't know. I'm not in the marketing and business side, but I wouldn't see you're going to sell a ton of those individually. But I think there's enough out there that people are going to go, hey, that speaks to me. I would like that.
Well, it's just kind of going along the lines of the Jeep life because everyone has their own Jeep, whether it's from mall crawler to heavy duty off-road rig to just the soccer mom driving her Jeep to go get her kids.
Yep.
It's everyone has their own application, and this is definitely going to fit that lifestyle.
That carpet would look really good in like a Sahara that's been tricked out.
Absolutely.
That'd look good. I'm already building my next Jeep over here. So with the cleaning, I know we talked a little bit earlier. Is there products that you recommend? Or is it really like dish soap and elbow grease?
I wouldn't recommend you put any kind of a cleaner at all. It's just some of them are abrasive or corrosive. Many are corrosive by nature. So we've just found that the best cleaner for me is Dawn dish soap, but honestly, probably any dish soap, and not a lot of it, just a little bit of warm water. And for me, if you use a towel or a cloth, that'll clean it, yes. But we have a pretty heavy graining on the floor, and so some of that fine particle stuff can get in between the grains. So I just use an ordinary brush, nothing particularly strong or
like a soft or medium brush.
Yeah, nylon brush.
Nylon brush, and just scrub it with a little bit of soap, hit it with a little bit of water, and let it rinse out the whole. And you always have to be careful whenever you're bringing water into the vehicle because you do have electronics and electrical connection. So you can be careful with a garden hose or with a bucket of water. Yeah. But basically, it comes right out with a little bit of brush scrubbing. And I don't mean heavy scrubbing. I haven't had to do that yet. What we kept, and we're going to do this. We had this conversation just this week for kicks. We're getting into a whole new Jeeping season this year through our Jeep Jamboree membership and some of the other things we're doing out on the trails. And going from vending event to vending event, like the Myrtle Beach Jeep Jam and the Daytona Beach Jeep Jam and all those. And some people say, well, you should put a new floor in for each event. We haven't. We've been leaving the same floor in. Then we take our same Jeep out on the trails all across the country, bring it back, wash it up, leave it in. And one of our guys was, well, let's put a new floor in for the 2021 season. I said, no, why not keep the same floor that we've had in all last year and just keep cleaning it up for each event? It looks like it's factory new, but it carries a lot more weight when you can say, this is the same floor that just did 15 major trails in the last, 6 months, and this is what it looks like. And this is what your Jeep's going to look like.
I agree with that 100%.
Same.
because I'm not going to put a new flooring in every year, right? I think it's great.
Welcome to.
I know, right?
I was going to say, I can't afford a new floor every year.
But
no,
that
we
makes
made
sense.
it to last.
Yeah.
We built it to last. As long as you're going to own your Jeep, you're not going to have to replace it. That's why you're talking about the durability of it. There's a heel wear that would normally happen in about 5,000 cycles of getting in and out of your vehicle in a normal car. It would take about 25,000 cycles before you start to see heel wear in Armorlite. And again, we over-engineered it on purpose. So.
Well, it's interesting that you brought up the heel wear, because that's one of the things that, so I can drive clutch, or, my girlfriend's car has just the standard OE carpets. And in both spots of the clutch and the gas pedal, you start getting that, that indentation of where your heel sits. But in Big Red, nothing. It's still perfectly flat, and it's, like I said, looks just as the day I put it in.
Awesome to hear that. Good. We're doing our job right then.
Well, we appreciate you coming on. We don't want to take up too much of your time. Is there any last minute messaging that you want to get out, or how can our listeners get their own Armorlite?
All right, that's a good question. I'm glad you mentioned that one, because I wasn't thinking about going there. But the one, when we came out last year, we came out with one factory direct website. It's a commercial website called GoArmorlite.com, and that's the only way that we've been selling this floor to date. But right now, we're beginning to open up to the various dealer installers across the country, all those Jeep shops that you guys know of from state to state, and we're going to. We've had many of them contact us, but really haven't had the means to be able to provide them with floors for their builds. Now we are. So we're creating something just for the shops so they can become dealer qualified, and then they can go up and order at a wholesale price.
Oh, cool.
And we can work with them, and that extends our reach and allows us to be part of their builds. And you guys know that it's just enormous amount of. It's a big, big business, and the number of shops are across this country that are doing those lifts and doing those builds. And I like to offer a complete package, not just everything you're putting on the outside and the suspension, chassis, and body, but also why not open the doors to put something on the inside? So this kind of extends their service package and gives us another avenue to sell the product. But for those folks that are just do-it-yourself wheelers, I'd say go to GoArmorlite.com. We've got you. We're going to, probably in the next 2 months, regardless of what kind of Wrangler you have, we're going to have your floor up there. So
that's awesome.
That's great. Well, I thank you again for coming on, and again, I think it's one of the coolest things, that we have out there.
Absolutely.
We do quite a bit of shows, and we're going to do even more this year. We were limited to what we could do last year with COVID, but we do shows.
I remember the first show, this past year, the first kind of summer show that I went to, we just got the Armorlite in, and I was like, everybody get over here and look at this right now.
Yeah.
I was like, you need one of these in your Jeep. And and everyone that looked at it was even, wow.
Bill's, we leave the doors open and we show it off as much as we can.
That's awesome. Well, I'm going to have something new for you guys coming out pretty soon. And for the rest of your listeners, we're going to have a complete cargo kit. And that's by demand of our customers. They have told us in the last year, we love the floor, but we want you to do the whole cargo area with the same material.
Oh.
So for the wheel arches, the back seat covers, and the whole cargo horizontal surface, they want the whole thing covered. And we're going to offer that kit. We're working on that kit right now, and we hope to have something by early summer, midsummer, that will be a complete kit option.
That's
awesome. Yeah.
That's really cool.
I mean, that's the next step to complete the whole interior line of the Armorlite product.
Yeah, and also the back area isn't as protected as it should be, in my opinion. Right.
From an OE standpoint,
right? Because plastic gets scratched up,
absolutely,
and dirty, and you can't clean it.
Right.
That's awesome.
A lot of Jeepers love their dogs. Their dog's hair does not come out of that
carpet
or not
yeah
fabric, right?
Yeah,
that's brilliant.
It's from because as you guys know, we're not even a year old yet, right? We launched last March,
right,
and we launched with just JK product, right? So, and in a minute, whenever it's convenient, I'll catch you up on what we're doing now with product. But we didn't know what we didn't know. So from experiences like you just explained and other customers explained, we knew that we could improve the installation process because it is difficult to work with it. It's behind me right here, but this is we've over-engineered it.
Yep.
So because of that, when you're trying to manipulate it into position under the seat, it's a bear.
Yeah.
So you realize that the whole point was, let's try to do this, no tools required. But the feedback we've been getting from you and the Jeep Life podcast viewers and the other Jeepers out there is, we don't mind using tools, so if that makes it easier and faster, then let's do that. So with the new product we're rolling out, we're just simply suggesting in the instructions, take the seat bolts out or loosen them completely, just enough so you can wiggle the seat forward, slide the product under it, put it back, tighten the bolts.
Yeah, we did that.
And that's exactly what we did.
Yep.
So,
yeah.
And the other thing that you know about Jeepers is most of them are DIY folks anyway, so they don't mind grabbing. They've got the tools, they've got the know-how, and you can save yourself some time by doing it that way.
Yeah, I installed mine yesterday, and it's about 85% complete. And I took out the trim completely so that I could put it back. You know, I didn't have to fight with it. It was just a lot easier just to lay that down. So
it's funny you say that. Our new instructions for the JL line that's coming out is remove all your trim.
Yep.
Yeah.
Now with the JK, we said leave it in and just tuck it under. That's a lot of work, though.
Right. Yeah, I found it a lot easier just to pull the trim out. I didn't realize how easy the trim completely came out.
Yeah.
And I was like, what if I do this? And all of a sudden, my world was a lot better.
I mean, I've had my trim out probably 10, 15, 20 times. I don't even know at this point.
And you guys are in Pennsylvania, right?
That is correct.
So you have the same cold winters we have up here in Michigan. So I'm guessing that you did it in a heated garage?
Well, it was in a garage. There was a heat, but it did protect me from the wind. So it was
okay.
It wasn't bad. I would have of course rather done it where I could, lay the parts out in the sun and let them warm up a little bit and move it around. But yeah, it was fine.
Much more pliable when they're warmed up in the sunshine. Yeah. I think that was probably Bill's experience was he had a much warmer day, so it was a more pliable product.
Yeah. All right.
All right.
Thanks, Dave.
Take care.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye.
Finally figured that one out, huh?
Wow. Thanks, Dave, for that amazing interview. And, this is our first time doing that. So
it was pretty cool.
That was cool.
Yeah, we had no idea that it was going to be able to do this. And then we were trying to figure out how it was going to end and get back into
transition. Right, we made it work. I think it worked out very well.
We made it work. So
when we say we really meant
Terry did,
right.
And all of his techno stuff. Cool.
The space shuttle dashboard down there. Right.
Push that button. Hopefully it works.
Purely experimental. Hopefully we get better at this every
have
time.
been though.
Yeah, absolutely.
I think
you're killing it, Terry.
Thanks. We're doing great. The listeners are joining in. To be honest with you, since we've gotten interactive and
it's fun.
It's fun. It's a lot of fun having that instant response. That's pretty awesome. So again, thanks Dave from Armorlite to give us that time. He is so awesome. We were just talking behind the scenes that he's a professional.
He really is. And he sees the value in his product. He likes working for the company that he works for. And, it's an awesome job to be able to, take that product and see that the use of it in the real world.
So am I understanding this correctly? There's going to be digital camo?
Yeah.
That's pretty badass.
Digital
I'm not a camo person, but I think that would be...
Wood grain, black wood grain.
Yeah.
Different textures. Yeah.
Yeah.
That is going to be cool.
Yeah, I think they're doing it right.
They're going to start making it aftermarket to the aftermarket.
That is going to be awesome.
Yeah, it's really cool. So, thanks David and Armorlite for providing that time.
And you can find them at goarmorlite.com.
Yeah.
And just head over to their website right now. You can take care of all your purchases right on their website. Click the product button, and that will take you to all the different products they offer currently. And also, that is where you would see the pre-order page of where you can obviously pre-order the next set that they're coming out with. So if you have, if you really want that JK rear section, you want to pre-order it, absolutely log on to their website and you can grab it.
And it's going to clash with my red Jeep, but those orange.
You want those orange body?
I want them in red.
Yeah. If they were in red, I
maybe. Hey, David, if you're listening,
make
them in different colors: red, blue, green.
Oh, body match.
Body match colors.
Dude,
there you go.
Those would sell.
The problem is with that is it's tough to carry a lot of colors.
It is, but I'd buy a red right now. I
think a lot of people would.
Yeah, absolutely. I'm even thinking about pushing the orange just because it stands out so much.
I think the
on
orange
the
is
black.
just like an emergency relief valve. I mean, when there's
open the
8 inches of
floodgates.
when there's 8 inches of water, pull the plug. You don't get open the bulkhead
you can
up.
see it through. Yeah, exactly. That makes sense.
So I think that was the thought process with the orange. So I dig it.
I like that a lot. So if you're going to shop at goarmorlite.com, there's other places that we like to send you because we want you to shop our stuff.
Absolutely. Click on our link tree, which is in the About section of our Facebook page, in the bio of our Instagram page. Also, it is in the header of our YouTube page. If you want to click our link tree, that will take you to a customized website that we are using for all of our websites and links to all of our different pages. So you can go to our swag page, which you can get awesome, different swag from hats to, awesome jackets, t-shirts, aprons, computer bags, and everything in between with Jeep Life logos. And it's just awesome that we can do that. And also on top of it, we have a call-in number.
Oh, yeah.
Did we get any call-ins?
I don't think we got any voicemails.
Are you sure? So this week, what I want you to do, I'm giving you homework. Go and call in to our call-in number, which is 484. Call in to the call-in to the call-in.
Yeah.
484.
Hold on, let me put this in. 484
891 1172.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
go call.
Call
that number, leave us an awesome voicemail, review, something of the sort, and you might be lucky enough to get on the air.
We might play it on air. If you do it and it's good quality material, it's going in the air. I'll take one of these guys out. And
Nikki G, if you're out there and you're listening.
Oh my God,
we need to get some Nikki G on here.
No, we don't need. Is that what we're missing? Is that all
we're missing? Nikki G.
I'm not.
We need
I'm
our
not
own
missing.
Nikki G.
Yeah,
we don't need their.
Well, we have Jason.
Not knocking it.
Have Jason.
True, we do.
Jason W.
Yeah,
Jason W.
He's our own Nikki G.
Yeah,
I love it.
A little more style. Sorry, Nikki G. Just saying,
Yeah, for sure. But for Bill, Don, and myself, man, thanks for listening and tuning in. You guys rock, and I love it. Here's a big Jeep wave to you, everybody. Have a good night.
Have a good night.
Wow. What a fun show.
Call in.
Call in. I love it. Thanks everybody for hanging out with us, and I love it. We appreciate everything you guys do. At some point we need to figure out a way for us all to get together. COVID be damned. We need to get rid of COVID.
I think we need
a wheeling day.
I was going to say we need a Jeep Life podcast wheeling day.
And I think we have one coming up with the club, I believe, in April.
Yeah.
April. Maybe we do a May one.
Oh, I was thinking earlier, but okay.
Yeah.
March.
End
of March.
I'm
I
ready
don't know
to.
if I'm going to be done by then.
Okay.
We can ride shotgun with me.
Yeah. Or yeah.
Yeah. I got another seat.
He's got another
got
seat.
one seat.
Go too, yeah. Well, just ride with him. Spot for you.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Whatever.
Perfect.
Spot
All
for
right,
both.
everybody. Have a good night. You guys rock. I appreciate it. We'll see you soon.